Revelation 2346. From the 24th of May 1942. Working of the Spirit. Gift of grace. The gifts of the Spirit are available to all, and yet so few people make use of God's offer of this precious gift of grace. They do not know what a valuable gift they are missing out on and how much richer they could be. For what the Spirit of God offers them cannot be replaced by anything else. He gives people clear knowledge, He introduces them to the knowledge of divine truth, He helps them to loosen their bond with the world and in return establish a connection with the spiritual beings of light in order to be able to have a constant exchange of thoughts with them. He always guides and directs them towards God and orders their thought activity so that they can think correctly and therefore have to think right and true as soon as they ask spiritual questions or try to fathom divine rule and activity. People are always in contact with God if they desire the working of His Spirit. Power always flows to them when God pours out His Spirit upon people. Then they directly receive the emanation of strength from God. They switch off all resistance and open themselves, that is, their hearts let the strength flow into them. But the effect of this is knowledge. For every influx of strength from God signifies increased knowledge of things which lie outside of earthly life. And this spiritual knowledge is the soul's wealth, it is the treasure which the soul will use one day if it wants to fulfill its task in the beyond. Spiritual wealth is the only thing worth striving for on earth, and the soul can receive spiritual wealth unmeasured. God Himself has promised people His Spirit, and thus no one will desire it in vain. However, God's Spirit can never become effective where the desire for this precious gift does not exist. What God offers people should be eagerly requested and gratefully received. It is not withheld from any person, but it is also not given to any person without heartfelt desire. No person can be given the divine gift of grace who would not pay attention to this gift, for the working of the Spirit requires attentive listening within. The human being must pay attention to the subtlest impulses within himself and thus adjust himself to the conscious acceptance of a gift which is of divine origin. The Spirit from God must be granted access to the spiritual spark in the heart, or the divine spark within must be given the freedom to connect with the Spirit from God. Contact must be made with the beings who are light and power receivers, so that light and power can now overflow. The divine gift of grace requires profound faith in the working of the Spirit in the human being. It requires loving activity and heartfelt devotion to the greatest Spirit of heaven and earth, so that His strength can overflow because it now no longer finds resistance, for the working of the divine Spirit is the sign that the creature which emerged from God has finally united with Him again after a long separation from Him. Amen.